Hello, and welcome to Chicago. After a long break from hosting the Kccna convention, we, the people of Chicago, feel the time is right for the convention to be back here in the Windy City. We request your undivided attention during our presentation so that we can provide you with all the details regarding how Chicago will make this a unique, memorable, and successful event. One that the Kccna community can be proud of. At the end of the presentation, we will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Without further ado, let's kick it up a notch. The presentation has been organized into three parts: what makes Chicago ideal, convention details or ideas, and proposed convention center. What makes Chicago ideal? One of the biggest blessings that the Kccna people of Chicago have is the abundance of successful and talented young people. Being that KCS Chicago was one of the first Kccna communities in the United States, there is a large amount of history which helped the community to figure out ways to nurture our youth so that they may reach their full potential. Of course, the nurturing starts from the home, but as a community, we have always had very active Kids Club, KCJL, and KCYLs. Due to this, the young and young adult generation that are in Chicago currently are not only successful, but they are good role models for our future generations. Although we speak of bringing the youth forward, in Chicago, we are confident that our young adults can and will take an important role in the convention. Although KCS Chicago has not hosted a Kccna convention since 1996, our members have played integral roles in all Kccna events. Many times, the Kccna Executive Board organizing the convention has had many of the Chicago KCS members. Other members have played large roles as the chairman and or working members of almost all convention committees. We have also hosted KCYLNA conventions which have gotten great feedback. Location, location, location. Chicago, the third largest city in the United States, was rated the sixth most popular city in the world. It is ranked as the fifth most economically powerful city, once again, in the world. It is also the home of the Chicago Bulls, Bears, Cubs, White Sox, and of course, Barack Obama. Given its geographical location, Chicago is the most drivable convention destination for our people. Chicago is more generally known as the Windy City. The name was given not because of how windy the city is, but because of its politicians. Mullapoomppodi etti kadakkum kallinumundam saurabhyam. The term Windy City in the past could have also been used to describe the Kccna politics of Chicago. But as all of you here know, the past two KCS boards, including the current one led by Mr. Sriya Kovukatl, were elected unanimously. It truly demonstrates a unified Chicago. In 2005, Kccna hosted its first ever youth summit in Chicago with the support and guidance from the Chicago KCS. As some of you may know, prior to this summit, our community had been very worrisome about holding a youth convention as there had been major concerns with some of the previously held conventions. In a time when parents were ready to never allow their children to attend another KCYL event, Chicago stepped up and executed an event that was a great success. To this day, Kccna is following the guidelines that were set forth in Chicago as a formula for its summits. While the rules instilled in 2005 were harsh, it was what was needed to have a successful event that the community can be proud of, as well as enjoyable for the participants. We are all aware of the fact that there were some issues at previous Kccna conventions with the youth. We feel Chicago has the right resources with the past experience to address these issues so that they may all have a safe and enjoyable event. We have all often heard the analogies that the Kccna mission and associations are two sides of the same coin, or that they are the wings of a bird. Being that Chicago is the home of the Syro-Malabar Diocese, we feel that having a large gathering of the Kccna people here will help in bridging any gaps that exist today. It will be a great opportunity for us to demonstrate our unity and strength. Just like all of our Kccna brothers and sisters, the people of Chicago love this community and are willing to support any initiative brought forth by our people. This is especially evident if you look at the registration totals from Chicago at past conventions. We consistently represent more than 25% of the total convention registration regardless of where it is held. By having the convention in Chicago, the participation will only increase. It will also give us a platform to spark some energy into KCS Chicago as well as the greater Kccna community of North America. Last, but certainly not least, Chicago has taken a very long break from hosting a Kccna convention. It has been 16 years since the last convention in Chicago held at the Concord Plaza. Everything happens for a reason. We feel at this time Chicago possesses the right resources to plan and execute a convention that all of us can be proud of. The time has come. As some of you here know, wanting the privilege to host a convention in Chicago is not an idea that popped up a few days ago. We have had the opportunity to think about what we would do to make this convention a success for some time. We would like to share with you some of those details to show you how serious we are about this cause. The buzzword that all of our leaders like to use at all times is youth. In all of our speeches, emails, newsletters, even umakatagal, we like to talk about how the youth is the most important thing and everything is for the youth. Oftentimes all this talk remains just that, talk. Chicago has shown through actions over the years the importance of our young people. There have been more KCYLNA board members from Chicago KCS than any other associations. The formation and the organizing of the yearly activities of KYAA has key contributors from Chicago. If you look at the current KCS board of directors, there is one person under the age of 20, 4 between the ages of 20 and 30, and 12 between the ages of 30 and 40. More young people getting involved is a trend that has been improving over the years and will continue to improve in Chicago. As a way of involving more young adults in KCS Chicago, we recently established the 30-40 Club. We have been in the forefront of involving and encouraging our young generation to get involved in the community, and we will broaden this on a national level for the convention, as we feel this is an important piece in making it a success. It is no secret that while our conventions have been getting bigger and better each time, we do have some tweaking to do to maximize the output. In order to do that, we must be able and willing to learn from our experiences. One of the complaints from a lot of our convention participants we talk to is that as the convention gets bigger, they are having a tough time even seeing people since they are not always at the main convention center. We feel that by distributing the convention participants to multiple hotels, it will encourage everyone to spend the majority of their time at the convention center rather than in their own rooms. This is also an advantage from a security standpoint, as we can have more manpower allocated to a contained area, since this is where the majority of people, adults and youth, will be at most times. We are confident this will give the convention participants the best experience. There is no doubt that the Kccna convention, although very large, is an event that is planned very meticulously down to the small details. Over the years, we have become very good at putting together an event that accommodates over 6,000 people. One area we sometimes lack in is informing the convention participants about all the things that are available to them. We plan to have an orientation meeting as part of the registration process that will be required for every participant to take before the convention credentials are handed over to them. The orientation should last approximately 20 minutes and will cover a wide variety of topics. It will acclimate everyone to the facility and give them an overview of all that it has to offer. We will go through the complete convention programs so that everyone is aware of the various activities for the different age groups that will run in parallel. The orientation will clearly outline all the rules and regulations that are set forth by the committee so that there are no surprises. At past conventions, we have always had in place proper rules, especially for the youth. But oftentimes these were not made clear to them until they violated. Along with explaining the rules, we will make it very clear what the consequences of breaking those rules are. At this point in time, we feel one of the most important steps Kccna can do for our children is to not let them slide when they test their boundaries. They must know that there are consequences for violating the rules. Kccna Convention is one of the very few events in which Kccna is able to add some funds to its operating accounts. While this is very important and needed, we also feel that if we are able to reduce the registration cost for the convention, Kccna will be able to directly impact each and every one of its members that participate in the convention. One of the many advantages of Chicago being a large market is that the various vendors that will provide their services for the convention have a lot of competition. As we all know, competition drives down the price. We are confident that Kccna can take advantage of this and save money in various areas so that the registration cost for the convention can be reduced. Since one of the proposals to enhance the convention is to split the hotels, we feel transportation will be a key area that must be addressed with great care. Chicago will implement a transportation system in which there will be a bus that will travel between the hotels and the convention center every 5 minutes at peak hours and 10 minutes in non-peak hours. The buses will also be shuttling throughout the night. In order to make this experience seamless to the participants, we are proposing to bring in some technology. There will be a large TV screen at each of the locations the bus stops at, showing the real-time information on the status of the bus. For example, in the lobby of the convention center, there will be a TV screen that the participants can look at to find out things like how long they would have to wait before the bus will be there to pick them up. Similarly, at the lobby of the hotel, there will be a TV screen that shows people wanting to go to the convention center how long before the next bus will be there to pick them up. This way, everyone is always informed about how long it will be till the next bus is there and not wasting time blindly waiting. Oftentimes, a lot of the participants judge the success of a convention by the food that was served. For all meals other than the banquet Sunday night, we will implement a food court so that the people are not locked down to one type of food or dish. They will be able to choose from various cuisines. There will be a stall for North Indian food, South Indian food, American, and maybe even Chinese. The participants will be able to use their previously sold food coupons at any of the vendors. This will give the participants choices on food of their liking, especially the young generation. This also has the added benefit of allowing more people to stay at the convention center rather than venturing out in search of food. If or once Chicago is awarded the convention today, we will not be waiting for 2012 to start the planning. Things are already in the works to kick off various contests starting this summer to keep our community engaged and looking forward to the 2012 convention. Starting this July, there will be various contests held via the web, primarily for the youth, where we will allow them to be part of the planning of the convention. The community will help plan the convention by coming up with a theme, slogan, logo, t-shirts, etc. This will give our youth a vested interest in the success of this great event. We hope by seeing a few of the ideas we are proposing for the convention, you can see how serious we are about making this the best event put together by Kccna. This is just the beginning. We promise. The people of Chicago will not disappoint you. The number of participants that attend the Kccna convention will likely surpass 10,000 in the near future. Although the size of the event is very large, the expectations that each participant has for the convention is very high. As one person we talked to put it, your people have very classy and expensive taste in everything. Of course, this is because our people are accustomed to the best and expect no less. We in Chicago feel we have found the right location to fit these needs. Introducing Renaissance Schaumburg.
The source of genius is imagination, the refinement of the senses that sees what others do not. Introducing the Renaissance Schaumburg Hotel and Convention Center. Artful details, refined comforts, and savvy service are only the beginning. A feast for the senses and the soul, where the heartland meets the 21st century. Opposite of ordinary, we offer inspiration for the five senses. Smell is a potent vehicle that transports us across thousands of miles and all the years we've lived. Enter our great room and be embraced by the aroma of citrus and bathed in the sound of contemporary music. Our eyes need light in order to see, Our minds need ideas in order to conceive. See and feel our unsurpassed facilities and services. With 30 meeting rooms and endless production assistance, you can focus on your ideas and leave the details to us. Your imagination knows no limits with 100,000 square feet of peerless convention space. Food is like love. It should be entered into abandon or not at all. Taste the interesting and unexpected at Sam & Harry's, our signature steakhouse. Check out Gather, undoubtedly hip without the slightest bit of pretension. Or unwind with a Starbucks at our simple, warm and welcoming Winter Garden Cafe. Feed the body and soul. Retire to your personal oasis. Spacious work areas, high-speed internet, MP3 iPod-compatible alarm clocks, and a 32-inch flat-panel HD TV with data and entertainment connectivity. Expect the unexpected. Flat-screen TVs embedded into the bathroom's fogless mirror. Not to mention the sumptuous comfort of our Renaissance revived bedding. Excellence is not a singular act, but a habit. Amid the stylish and inspired architectural design of John Portman is the Renaissance Schaumburg. Created with you in mind and uniquely Renaissance.
As I mentioned earlier, the number of participants at our conventions are getting bigger and bigger. It has gotten to a point where there are only a handful of locations in the United States that can accommodate us. We, in Chicago, are proud to say we have 3 to 5 of those locations right here. Although we visited and investigated all these locations, we believe Renaissance Schaumburg is the best fit for our needs. Situated only 15 minutes from O'Hare International Airport and 30 minutes from downtown Chicago, Schaumburg, Illinois is the ideal location for Kccna. Oftentimes, people make their impression on a convention center in the first few seconds of walking into one. Being that Renaissance Schaumburg was built only a few years ago, it is very modern and up to date. The main convention hall is 100,000 square foot of uninterrupted space with no pillars to distract the view to the stage. The stage will have a majestic and grand feeling in this open space with 30-foot ceilings. It is to our advantage to have the participants be very close to our main hall at all times. All around the convention center, there are very large hallways that will offer everyone ample space to mingle and catch up. The grand ballroom, which will hold the food court and potentially the youth banquet, is an elegant and classy setting that will surely take the breath away from anyone who sets foot in it. There are several smaller breakout rooms scattered all around that will fit our smaller seminars and group events. It is also very important to note that Renaissance Schaumburg does not require us to use union workers. This will translate to huge cost savings with various vendors. As we talked about before, One of the strategies used to help us enhance our convention is to split the hotels. Renaissance Schaumburg will have 500 rooms allocated to Kccna for the convention. We expect to accommodate the remaining participants in 2 other hotels. Embassy Suites is situated about 3 to 5 minutes walking distance from the convention center, directly across the street. The second hotel would be the Radisson, which is also walking distance from the Renaissance around the corner. If needed, there are other hotels available nearby within 5-minute car ride. In our preliminary talks with Renaissance Schaumburg and neighboring hotels, the average room rate thus far is approximately $99. This is already an exceptional rate given the proximity to O'Hare International Airport and downtown Chicago. This rate is based on an estimate of 1,000 rooms. So that you may have something to compare this against, the room rate at the Dallas convention was $109. We expect this rate of $99 to improve once we are deeper into the negotiations. We have also had preliminary talks on the cost of the convention center, food buyouts, transportation, and various other areas. We hope in the last half hour we have been able to demonstrate to you how serious the people of Chicago are in wanting to have the opportunity to host the 2012 Kccna convention. We want to host the convention here not because it has been 16 years since the last one, but because you feel we have the best plan and hopefully convinced you that we will kick it up a notch and make this the most successful convention in Kccna history. We thank you for giving us your undivided attention and request your support to make this a memorable event. Thank you.